Hey folks, it's that time of year. It's kind of Black Friday is approaching, and it's well, I guess, Mitch, it must be a bit of an annual sort of tradition, much like Halloween is our chat with you. How are you doing, Mitch?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah, it does seem like it comes around every year somehow. It's like holidays. I don't know. We keep doing them.
I see you've got I'm sure your keyboard collection is expanding. What's new?
Oh gosh, I've got all kinds of new stuff. I just got the StroLAB over here, which I'm quite
Ah,
enjoying. I was a
nice.
big fan of Arturia's stuff. I use quite a bit of it. In fact, I use some of it in this demo as well. So,
Cool.
yay. Too
Excellent.
much.
Well, obviously, the big news for Soundtoys this year was the fact that you released SpaceBlender, and I'm sure the
Yeah.
StroLAB sounds awesome through SpaceBlender. Really unique and different reverb, right?
Yeah, it's been quite cool and a fun toy, and that's why it is our new plugin, but it's also still fun to explore. The other plugins I still find new stuff and things like Echo Boy, but Space Blender is the brand new kid in the block. So I'm having a blast digging around through it and finding some new stuff, which is what I want to do today is try to show some new ideas that people can play with and maybe go out and make hit records and then hopefully share that money with me.
Wow! If only it worked that way, wouldn't we all be feeling a lot more
It would be great. Yeah.
flush?
I'd have so many more synthesizers.
Well, I'm not sure you need any more synthesizers. You
You're
might need to
correct.
find something. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's lovely to have you anyway. So,
Thank you.
so I see you've got a couple of Space Blenders here in
Yeah.
FetchRack, which is the sort of the overall sort of hosting environment for Soundtoys plugins. Although they do run as standalone as well, right?
They do. I usually open it up as an effect rack just because I end up adding something eventually, no matter what. I will probably pull this one apart and start from scratch just so we can kind of show how it goes. But I like starting an effect rack because, again, I almost inevitably in my own stuff end up adding some more plugins. Yeah, that's my choice. But you can use just Space Blender, and Space Blender sounds really amazing all by itself. So
Absolutely. So you're running this in Logic by the looks of things, right?
I am indeed, which I am not super familiar with, but I do enjoy working in it, especially for these kinds of things because it's fast and relatively easy. But forgive me if I go, oh, I forgot how to do that.
Too many key commands, right? Yeah.
Phew, man, it's like different languages. I don't speak more than one, and I barely speak that one. So,
Okay. So what's going on here then? Let's
all
have a look.
right, start with ping and solo. This because I want to show just how transformative Space Blender can be. So we're going to start with this sound. Oh, oh,
Okay.
it's quite.
If you don't mind me saying so, it's quite unremarkable.
It is quite unremarkable. I'm glad you said that because that's what I want it to be is unremarkable. I'm going to turn off one of these Space Blenders. In fact, I'm just going to toss. Let me kind of quick. I'm just going to start from scratch here. Throw in a brand new Space Blender, and we'll go turn it on. This is what it sounds like when you just toss it in. So already pretty transformative. What I'm going to do is show you the quick thing about Space Blender is the fact that you can create these shapes. You heard how it sort of ended. It wasn't a classic reverb. It
Yeah.
stretch out, and we can adjust the time here and do the same thing. So more of a
Right.
gate kind of sound, but I'm going to go for something a little longer. Now that little blob, the cursor here, the pink one, allows you to change the shape just by moving around in the screen, which makes it pretty unique. So I can do kind of blooming reverbs very easily. I could do
Right.
reverses very quickly. But let's build that patch I was just looking at, sort of building on, which was sort of a classic decay. I'll go ahead and decay them out here. And I'm going to set the sync on so it goes to tempo. Down in the corner, you can see it says 5 beats. I'm going to turn that up to 6. So we get just a little overlap on the
Yeah.
4 beats there. And turn the mod up because I just like the mod. Now the texture goes from kind of a sparse, almost delay effect. We'll listen to that.
All right, almost granular in a way.
Right. It does sound granular. And if you turn sync off, if you move time while that's playing, you get sort of a granular type of effect, which is fun.
Oh, and you can still hear it trying to modulate those little grains. That's nice.
Right. It's moving it, but without any kind of pitch shifting effects. Now, the other side of that is you turn warp on, which turns on sort of the classic tape delay kind of effect. And when you move time with warp on, you get more of the pitch shifting stuff.
Right.
So we're going to stick with a sync on 6 beats. We're going to turn the texture up, which does the kind of diffuse thing, which makes it more of a reverb sound. It's classic. And to recreate that patch that I started with, I'm going to pull another SpaceBlender in here real quick. I'm going to very quickly turn this into a reverse. I'm going to sync it up. I'm going to put it on 4 beats, so it's dropping in texture all the way up. One of the things we want to do here is the color knob is the tone control, and it's over the course of the shape. So if I turn the color up on this one, we'll mute this one real quick. It'll get brighter over the course of this shape.
Okay. So it's like a tilt almost, or a sort of feedback EQ.
Yeah, well, it's sort of because it's kind of adding as it goes, so it gets brighter at the end, and that way the one that's fading out gets brighter, and the other one is just going to be a nice reverse reverb. Let's listen to this.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay.
And now do the reverse one bright too. All right. So that is our first transform track. And the next one I will go on to is this little arpeggiator.
Another impressive synth sound there, Mitch.
I know. This is why I make the big money. But same thing. We're going to go on. We're going to take this SpaceBlender, and I've already created sort of a bloom effect. Once again, as we went through I won't have to describe all these things. The color is set to get brighter. The texture is set very diffuse. Mod is turned all the way up, and I have the mix turned to full wet. So we're going to take that beautiful arpeggio and turn it into a nice pad just by turning SpaceBlender on. And you can see the audio going through the waveform, so you know kind of where your audio is in the reverb, I guess, because you can go, oh, there, it's about to end. So this kind of shows you a little trick I was talking about with the warp on. We have warp on this one, so I can do some pitch shifting effects.
Yeah, I was going to say you could modulate almost just sort of tiny amounts for almost chorusy type stuff, can't you? And wobble, and rather than massive great stuff. Yeah,
absolutely. And that if you hold the shift key, you go into fine mode, thankfully, and it allows you to just barely move it instead of those big massive drops. So I'm going to do a few of those. Shift. And then we'll take shift off and do a nice drop at the end.
Oh. And that's an automation you could do, I guess.
You could totally automate that. If I had been a practical, I would have done that ahead of time. But boy, me.
Living in the moment.
I just keep it going. So another transformed track with very quickly with SpaceBlender. I mean, and there are tons and tons of presets in SpaceBlender. We can take a look real quick. All the things that are built into it, ambience and swells and decays and reverses. So you got a lot, and gates, which we are going to go over in well, actually on the next track, which is our Simmons drums.
Oh wow, that is classic Simmons. That sounds like SDS 1 or something. Do you know happen to know which one it is?
It's the SDS V, which was the one technically.
That is, yeah.
So and you know, of course, the one to have. But so
are they samples?
Yeah.
Do you own one? Just got to ask you. Do you own one?
I do not. I know someone who owns one, and I facilitated Ken, obviously the mastermind behind the Soundtoys products and company. He got the full loaded everything, all 7 modules. So
lucky guy. That kick apparently can blow 18-inch subs out.
Yeah, we're not going to do that today.
No. Okay, good. All right. As you were. Sorry, I just wanted to double check for my ears.
Yeah. So we classic Simmons sound, and then we're going to add the other part of the classic Simmons sound, which was, of course, the gated reverb. So that's the other side, the twin brother of SpaceBlender. Is that the right term? I don't know. Anyway,
yeah.
So it does the super long, crazy, wild stuff, but then when you pull it down, it does my favorite gates of all time. So turning this on, listen to... And
nice.
There's so much variation in that, which is wild very quickly. So I'm going to mess around. So I'm going to change some of the tone, the color, I'm going to change some of the time and some of the texture and even the mod, and just kind of show you some of the quick variations by letting it play for a little bit.
Ooh.
And kind of back around to the sort of classic sound. But so, you know, if you ever needed just the right flavor of gate to fit perfectly into your 80s revival mix, here it is.
You're doing that with sort of no shape and just adjusting the length of the time rather. So it's just essentially like right. So okay, I got you.
If you see the cursor up here, the top bar pretty much stays at what you would consider to be kind of a gated sound, which turns out to be pretty cool because you can move the cursor to one end or the other and very quickly change from that classic gated sound to something like a reverse. So if I was doing this.
Right, okay.
And I can move it back up to gate and go over here and do sort of a classic decay.
Nice.
So automating those kinds of things makes some really cool effects for breaks and such. So there is the gated side of the world. Well, let's do one more version of gated. I'm going to pull down here to my CR78, solo him, turn off the effects rack and open that. Oh, look, I did something right. And here's super simple. And on this one, we have the texture turned down, so we're getting that sort of granular type of effect. Let's listen to that. But it's very tight, so it sounds more like a gate.
Yes, I like that one.
And if I turn it up, and automating that is fun.
Yeah, suits the CR really nicely, doesn't it? That really pingy.
Yeah, with those hard attacks on the thing, it's nice, and a lot of that stuff is very high end, so it captures it well.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's a very different effect, even in these tight spaces. with warp on or off. So I'll turn warp on and we get our pitch.
Oh yeah, it's got an Eventide sort of vibe to it. Some of that early kind of like crazy drums that you. Did I say the word?
You said that. Well, yeah, that's the heritage, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so yeah, some kind of weird granular percussive types of things going on with that one, and I love automating either warp on or warp off on drums and drum machines, percussion. It's just so much fun. You can grab little moments and stretch them out, especially with warp.
So when you're working within Effect Rack, do the individual parameters of the plugins make themselves available as automation, or are they sort of? Yeah. Okay. So it's not like just sort of Effects Rack slot 1, parameter 1, or whatever. It's they're named and.
It does do that, but it shows you the name. So it'll be,
okay.
yeah. So it does translate the name over. So you'll see time, you'll see texture, you'll see those things in the automation. Yeah. Otherwise, I would go completely insane.
That'd be
And
tough.
along with everyone else. But thankfully, it does do that. Now I'm going to play this, which is a sound you wouldn't expect to put reverb on necessarily, which is a Moog bass. Let me pull up the correct patch here. And we don't really, I mean, it's a great bass sound, so it doesn't really need much of anything, but I'm going to put SpaceBlender on it because that's what I do, put SpaceBlender on everything. And I'm creating a little bloom slap, so I get a little reflection on the bass. And I can turn the mod up if I want to really give it a little more grunge to it. And I can turn the color down if I don't want it to be, don't be
just
so
adds
bright.
a bit of sort of sparkle around the stereo width. Well, not sparkle, but just sort of opens it up as well. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I get the. Because it's doing that sort of almost like a faded in pre-delay with a slap. I'm getting a reflection, so you hear a little bit in the track. You hear a little bit more of the bass because it's coming out to the sides very quickly on the reflection.
It's very syncopated as well, so there's lots of space around it.
Yeah, and because I like to throw something else in, there's an Echo Boy here, so I could do the kind of classic. And that's why I start in Effect Rack, because I like to add stuff. Same thing
Toss
on.
that in there.
Yeah, I'll leave it in. But the last one on here is going to be a quick little vocal bit.
Grace, am a hero to save me from the darkness.
I started this track and then I found this vocal and then I realized, oh, I like the vocal, but it's not in the right key. So what I did was I actually used Little Altar Boy, sneaked it in, raised it up a notch. Because this is and I also used the format to give it a little more age and maturity. So this is the bypassed vocal.
Grace, am a hero to save me from the darkness. Grace,
But to get it to fit.
am a hero to save me from the darkness.
Interesting. Okay, right.
Those little
sounds a
subtle
little
things.
less. Yeah, it does. It sounds a bit more adult. The first one
Right.
sounds sort of very little girly, doesn't it? It's kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
It,
Okay.
it was
interesting.
kind of it was a trap vocal from a little vocal pack that I bought, and I was like, man, that vocal is really great. It's very breathy, but it's got a pureness to it. I just needed it to sound a little older. And then I've slapped SpaceBlender on here. I'm using the trick of a quick bloom to use it as kind of a pre-delay that's not a pre-delay, so it sort of fades in. I love that trick.
Grace,
And I
am a hero to save me from the darkness. The darkness. The darkness. Grace.
All right, simple reverb. I mean, there's obviously the fun for me comes in. I'm gonna move my take this loop off and just go back to the beginning. I did not automate this part, but this is totally automatable. You can grab your cursor and create some kind of cool spatial effects just by going nuts, which is
Moving the mouse around, yeah.
I do all day long. Go nuts. That's my favorite thing.
Oh, baby, you were always on my mind. I've been thinking that we should be together.
Nice.
And
It's interesting because the thing with SpaceBlender, it's sort of the signal comes in and then the next one is affected by what's happening with the change in shape. It's
right
quite an interesting
in that
way
time,
of-
and
yeah.
and you can watch, like I said, as the words go through the waveform. I'm pointing at it like you can see me pointing, but you can see the audio.
Oh, baby, you were always on my mind. I've been thinking that we should be together.
So it's a really interesting interface design. I was kind of blown away at how cool it turned out to be. And once again, the brilliant mind of the Soundtoys creators. So anyway, that one, I will put this one back up here. And just for fun, we'll go see what our track sounds like now. What does it sound like with everything space blendered?
Yeah.
Is that a word?
There's
Space blend?
nothing. No, there's hardly anything else on it, is there? It's still pretty much.
Yeah, it's just
That's it.
there. I think I even took the delay off the bass. Let's make sure. So it's just delays
Yeah.
off the bass. So this is nothing but SpaceBlender on those pathetic tracks.
Oh, baby, you were always on my mind. I've been thinking that we should be together. Oh, baby, you could be my saving grace and my hero to save me from the darkness. The darkness. The darkness.
And there we go.
Ha! On the fly.
On the fly, and you flew by the seat of the pants, did the breakdown of the drop automation and everything. Nice.
Yeah. Someday I'll learn Logic well enough to be able to do all that stuff ahead of time.
So you can automate the pink dot as well, can't you? That's an automatable.
Yeah.
Oh right, cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, as far as I know, absolutely every parameter is automatable on SpaceBlender. I've not run into one that's not. Again, I normally do most of my stuff in Pro Tools, so again, forgive me to be a Logic novice, but I'm quite certain that everything is automatable. And if I'm wrong, then well, I've been wrong before. But
So I'm guessing what with all the deals coming up, there's sort of end of year deals, there's the Black Friday sort of period. This video should be in amongst all of that, and I guess the best thing to do is get over to soundtoys.com and just check them out and see what sort of offers you're showing for the time, right?
absolutely, and of course, I know Black Friday the deals normally run for a little while, but if you're not 100% sure that you want to get in to the Soundtoys world, you can actually go to our webpage and get a 30-day free trial to make sure for a few days before the deals end. Kind of solidify
Yeah.
that. I think you will. Most of the time, folks find out that it's worth it. There's a lot of creative tools in there across the board. I know we're kind of focused on SpaceBlender, but obviously Echo Boy and Decapitator and Filter Freak. I'm addicted to all of them because I dig in deep and I keep finding new stuff. Crystallizer. It's just a nice set, and those deals make it kind of like why not? Come on, yeah, go for it. Have
Nice
some
one.
have some fun.
Have some fun. Mitch, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And maybe what we could do is you just play out with another live rendition of your little ditty there. Has it got a name, or are you just kind of, is it Sonic Demo 1?
Yeah, it was. I think, let's see, Sonicstate 25.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
A perfectly good name for any music.
Absolutely.